In this video, I'll show you how to change the resource specified for a particular task within a specification. You can swap any resource, be it a material, labour or plant item. To open a library specification, from the dashboard, click on the arrow next to the library on the navigator on the left of the screen. This expands the library options. The library is where you fine-tune the underlying settings which are used to create your estimates. The library contains the price book, specifications, overhead and profit settings and so on, which is selected when you create a new job. From the library, you can edit the various specifications. Click Specifications on the navigator. This opens up the list of specifications. The specifications control many things: which materials are used, how much of the materials are used, which labourers carry out each task, and how long it will take them. You can create your own specifications by clicking the Copy button next to one of the existing specifications. If you want to edit an existing specification, click the Open button adjacent to the specification you want to edit. I'm going to open the extension specification. On the left-hand side of the specification is a column entitled Item Used For. This shows us what each resource is used for, so it could be a material choice, cavity insulation for example, a labour task, such as fixing the cavity insulation, or a plant task, such as plant for the excavation of the trench. There will also be occasional sundry or subcontractor tasks, but the vast majority are material and labour tasks. There are two ways in which you can change a specification. Firstly, you can select a different material or labourer for a task. Secondly, you can alter how much of a material is used for a task, or, in the case of a labourer, how much time it takes to complete a task. If you don't want to swap a resource, but simply want to edit how much of a material is used, or how long it takes the labourer to complete a task, take a look at the video called Changing the Usage Factor of a Resource in a Specification. In this video, I'm going to show you how to change a specified resource. Let's take a look at how to swap a material. As an example, I'm going to change the cavity wall insulation product. About 15 lines down the specification, there's an item used for called cavity insulation. You'll notice that it's highlighted in bold red text. The bold red items are ones we've given a critical marker. Critical tasks are those which have a significant impact on your estimate. Click on cavity insulation, and then click the Change Resource button on the top ribbon. You now see the price book open up over the top of the screen, where the currently selected insulation product is highlighted. Because the original material was from the insulation type, the price book opens up in the insulation section. This is handy as we're looking for an alternative insulation product. I'm looking for a 75mm Celotex type product from the HBXL Price Tracker Plus range. We use the non-branded name, which is polyisocyanurate. Scroll down the list to the polyisocyanurate insulation board resources. You can use the scroll wheel on your mouse or the scroll bar to the right of the window. Click on the board called polyisocyanurate insulation board 2400 by 1200 by 75mm. Then click Select Resource on the top menu. The Edit Resource window will now open up. This happens because when you change a resource, you may also need to change the usage factor. In the middle of the Edit Resource box, you'll see a section called Usage. The usage factor determines how much of a material is used for a task, or in the case of a labour task, how long a labourer takes to do the task. In this case, we need to set the usage for our new insulation product. The original insulation that we started out with was the traditional cavity wall pack, which cover 5.46 square metres. The polyisocyanurate sheet that we've chosen will cover 2.88 square metres. The software doesn't automatically change the usage factor when you select a different resource, so you need to manually tell EstimatorXpress what the new usage factor is. You can type the usage factor directly into the box, or to help you work out the usage factor, click on the calculator button to the right of the usage factor. At the top of the dialog box there are two boxes. The top one tells you how many of the item you're going to use, and the bottom box is the amount of coverage. So in this example, it currently says you're using one polyiso board to cover approximately 5.46 square metres of insulation. These figures refer to the originally selected insulation product, so to make this correct for the sheet we've swapped in, we need to alter the coverage box from 5.46 to 2.88 square metres. So it now says we use 1 polyiso board for 2.88 square metres of cavity insulation, which is correct. Click OK, and you'll see that the usage factor has now changed to 0.34722. This tells us we're using just over a third of a board to cover 1 square metre. Remember, clicking on the calculator button gives you an explanation that should help you make sense of the usage factor. Now we've set the usage factor for our new material, we can click OK to finish. Back in the specification, on the cavity insulation line, you'll now see that we have a new material of our choice, our polyiso cyanurate 75mm sheet. So that's the process for swapping a specified material. The principles are exactly the same for swapping labour and other resource types. So to recap, the specification dictates which materials, labourers and other resources are used for different parts of the job. You can swap any resource by highlighting it, clicking Change Resource, and selecting an alternative resource from the price book. Once you've selected an alternative resource, check the usage factor by clicking the calculator button. Over to you.